We are less than 24 hours away from the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Good evening. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. Biden made his way to Washington earlier after delivering an emotional farewell address in his home state of Delaware.
Excuse the emotion, but when I die, Delaware will be written on my heart.
Security is tight in and around the Capitol ahead of tomorrow's events. Several National Guard members have been removed from inauguration duty, including two with possible ties to extremist groups.
Tonight, we're hearing from retired Adjutant General of the Rhode Island National Guard on the security measures being put in place. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni joins us now with that story. Anita?
Hi, Shannon. Thank you. Well, every one of the 25,000 National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. are being vetted by the FBI after concerns of an insider attack. That's something retired Adjutant General of the Rhode Island National Guard says is understandable.
There's a close eye on the nation's capital as preparations continue for the inauguration of the 46th President of the United States. Rhode Island sent upwards of 100 National Guard members to D.C.
We've always had a presence there from day one. At each inauguration in a different way. This has to do with a higher level of security.
That includes screening all of the National Guard's men and women at the Capitol by defense officials and the FBI, something Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio says is to be expected.
They identify one or two individuals that seem to have a rogue attitude. They are taken out. We need to have that kind of confidence.
It's a sight to be seen in Washington. Security at an all-time high following the deadly riot at the Capitol. An inauguration is always an event to be concerned about. That's what Republican Senator Roy Blunt said. He chairs the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies.
It's as vulnerable as the government ever gets, but I think it's an important message to send.
As for the possibility of an attack at Wednesday's inauguration, Lieutenant General Centracchio expects something to happen, but not on a massive scale.
I do think we'll see one or two skirmishes perhaps, but not an overall attack on the Capitol.
Now, Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed said he spoke to top officials after a dozen National Guard members were removed from the inauguration for ties with right-wing militia groups, saying in a statement, quote, "The fact that individuals have been flagged and removed shows how serious they are taking this matter." I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.
While the crowd for tomorrow's inauguration will be small, members of Rhode Island's congressional delegation will be there.
Congressman Jim Langevin is taking one of the state's top doctors as his guest. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni spoke to them today. Anita?
Hi, Shannon. Thank you. Well, a top Rhode Island doctor on the front lines of the pandemic now has a front row seat at the inauguration of the 46th President of the United States.
Congressional members received only one ticket for a guest to bring to the inauguration due to COVID restrictions, and Rhode Island Congressman Jim Langevin gave that golden ticket to Dr. Megan Ranney, an emergency medicine physician. Dr. Ranney has been on the front lines of Rhode Island's response to the pandemic.
And Dr. Ranney represents so many extraordinary people in the public health system right now.
Security is at an all-time high in the Capitol as preparations continue for the inauguration.
It is strange. You know, I was actually in New York City during 9/11, and in some ways it feels very similar. The security presence is just tremendous, and the streets are empty in a way that I've never seen them in D.C. before.
President-elect Joe Biden announced what he wants to tackle in the first 100 days of office, and passing another COVID relief package and ramping up the vaccine rollout is among them. Dr. Ranney is hopeful the new administration will bring more vaccine doses to Rhode Island.
I am very much looking forward to having us have enough doses so that the general public, so that our teachers, our elderly, our folks with multiple chronic conditions can get protected and we can start getting back to normal.
Now, Congressman Langevin and Dr. Ranney said they feel safe in Washington and they have high confidence that the inauguration will be a secure event, despite what was seen at the deadly riot in D.C. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.